Yeah. Well, I saw this throne and I just knew that I should sit in it.
Yes.
Presentation, and I'm just assuming that it's pleather, so it's okay. Yeah, otherwise I'd probably burn or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I wear this shirt so that I would look like a piece of meat.
Coordinated the chair quite well, too.
Yeah, I thought of that, yeah. So I've been asked today to talk about, or I've been asked to talk today about the dreaded word diet, but more specifically a vegetarian diet. So I'm going to call it a lifestyle because this is something that will change your world.
Do you want to talk in a mic?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're having a hard time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
hear
get
me?
close. Okay.
We're coming to eat your meat.
My disciples.
Oh, okay.
So, we've been kind of like throwing around the terms vegetarian in the Diksha movement. I'm a Bhagwan or vegetarian, right? I don't know that much about that, but a lot of people in this group are thinking about becoming vegetarian, so Linda asked me to talk about it.
She said she got coerced into becoming a vegetarian.
No. So I'm making a video about this so that you can kind of, spread this around the community because I know this group is really small, but I want to just kind of like reach out to the world. I'm not an expert on the subject, but I've just found some information on the web and different books that I'm going to give to you. I just care about health and animals and the planet, and that's why I'm doing this. And so thanks for taking an interest in it. So let's talk about those terms, vegetarian and vegan. So what is a vegetarian lifestyle? It's a plant-based diet which does include some animal products like dairy, eggs, and honey, but no meat. And some call themselves ovo-lacto vegetarians, ovo meaning eggs, and lacto meaning milk. And then vegetarians that eat fish too are pescatarian. A vegan lifestyle is a plant-based diet with no animal products whatsoever. That means don't wear them, don't eat them, don't use products that they're harmed in. And some people take that as a political stance, and others just do it because it feels right for them. I personally don't believe that I don't believe it's an all or nothing ordeal. I think there can be shades of gray, and so, it's like no one size fits all diet. It's just what works for you. And so for me personally, what I eat is a mostly organic, mostly raw, mostly vegan diet, and so I do eat a few cooked foods. I ate a few pieces of fish recently, but I stopped that. For the most part, I eat an organic, raw diet. So I'm not perfect, and with any form of activism, it's almost like impossible not to be hypocritical in some way. So it's like just try to hear the message, and I don't feel like holier than thou. Please don't feel like personally offended if like I'm personally judging you if you do eat meat. It's not about that. I'm just trying to make a difference in the world. And as being an artist, I feel like, it's kind of my job to speak out. I've been given kind of a unique voice. So if you're new to this, my diet may sound really extreme to you, but it's just what works for me. And so I'm not asking you to be like me, but I am asking you to at least consider becoming a vegetarian, and I'll tell you why. There's lots of good reasons for that. Yeah, we've all got room to improve, but we just have to start with where we're at and just continually strive to do better. Okay, speaking of that word diet, if you are interested in losing weight, have any of you heard of that book, Skinny Bitch? It is great. It's hilarious. It's just, only read it if you are into profane and crass humor like I am. But it is really awesome. It's written by these two hot chicks, and they just swear like sailors, and they tell it like it is. I would recommend reading that book, but I do have something for you. This will help you get started. This is the Vegetarian Starter Kit. It's from PETA. Just show the camera here. Here, go ahead and pass some of these out for me. It's got recipes in it and information. There's also one for kids here. And I don't know if anyone wants this one for kids. I just have one of those. So what is PETA? PETA means it's a group. It's called People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and I'm not affiliated with this organization, but I think it's just a great group of people who really care about the planet and the animals, and it's a good source for information. So now that you know what vegetarian and vegan lifestyles are, you may be asking why.
Why?
Why, God?
Why? What's the point?
Why? Yeah. Why the hell would you want to do that?
Yeah.
So you can find this magazine free. You can find it at vegetarian restaurants, or you can find it at goveg.com. But let's ask, why, God?
Why God? Why God?
Why go veg?
Oh. Why God? Okay. Why not?
You can refer to me as God. Okay, I have 4 good reasons for you. Do it for the environment, do it out of compassion, do it for your health, and do it for spirituality. Let's talk about the environment. All right, vegetarian versus meat-based diet. Which one is better for the environment? Anyone guess on that? Vegetarian, yeah, that's obvious. It is the most important step that you can take to save the planet. This statement says it all. Would you ever open your refrigerator, pull out 16 plates of pasta, toss 15 in the trash, and just eat 1 plate of food? How about leveling 55 square feet of rainforest for a single meal, or dumping 2,400 gallons of water down the drain? Of course you wouldn't, but if you're eating chicken, fish, turkey, pigs, cows, milk, or eggs, that's what you're doing, wasting resources and destroying our environment. Let's talk about these resources. There's oil. Is that an important resource? It's the energy of our civilization. It's what we fight wars over, especially since it's running out. And it's contributing to climate change. It takes oil energy to mass produce food for various tasks from tractors to shipping. So what takes more energy, to raise animals or to grow plants?
Raise
Raise animals. Meat eaters use 3 times more oil than vegetarian. And that statistic is not including things like driving, but going vegetarian will save more oil than if you switch to a hybrid car. But do better than that, go vegetarian and walk to work.
And lose weight while being vegetarian.
Yes.
Clean those arteries.
Yes. All right. Let's talk about land. So rainforests, oxygen producers, the sacred places, habitat to the wild. Every factory farm quarter pound of beef takes out 55 square feet of rainforest. Isn't that an enormous waste for 1 burger? Meat eaters destroy 10 times more land than vegetarians. This is a big concern because the world right now, we're losing 1.5 acres of rainforest every second. And that's loss of natural habitat, and we lose 200 species every day, become extinct. So this is kind of a crisis. Let's see, water. Water is the elixir of life, 70% of our bodies, the precious resource that we all need to live. It takes 25 gallons of water to produce 1 pound of wheat. Is there any guess on how much water it takes to produce a pound of beef? 5,000 gallons. Meat eaters use up over 100 times more water than vegetarians. In review, save 3 times the oil, 10 times the land, 100 times the water, and 100 animals every year. That's good reason. For every vegetarian, yeah. You can always do better too. It's not like the end-all be-all of it. You can always improve. You can buy local, you can buy organic, grow your own, go vegan, go raw. All of those things will help contribute to a more sustainable lifestyle. And so, of course, the only completely sustainable lifestyle is foraging for food in the woods. But we're here in civilization, so we just have to start where we're at and just kind of, work with what we got. Okay, reason number 2 to become vegetarian is out of compassion. So is anyone concerned about world hunger, starving children? With the resources that it takes to feed 1 meat eater, you can feed 20 vegetarians. And if everyone went vegetarian, there would be enough food to feed the entire world. All right, animal lovers. Any animal lovers in here? Yeah? All right, good. Everyone, hopefully. What do you think? Can animals feel pain? That's obvious that they do. Do you think that they have feelings and emotions?
Yes.
Yeah, any pet owner knows that they do. So, did you know that farm animals like chickens, cows, and pigs are smart and affectionate like cats and dogs? They really are. My mom's got chickens. They're just the greatest pet ever. All right, the conditions that farm animals live in today are absolutely shameful, such as CAFOs, which stands for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operations, which appropriately sounds like concentration camps for animals. Sounds like it to me. Eating meat that's supporting the meat industry is synonymous to supporting animal cruelty, and that is not love. So if we are to be a compassionate people, we need to extend this compassion to animals as well. Here are some examples of animal abuse. Every day in countries around the world, animals are fighting for their lives. They are enslaved, beaten, and kept in chains to make them perform for humans' entertainment. They are mutilated and confined to tiny cages so that we can kill them and eat them. They are burned, blinded, poisoned, and cut up alive in the name of science. They are electrocuted, strangled, and skinned alive so that people can parade around in their coats. The entire life of a captive food animal is an unnatural one of artificial breeding, vicious castration, and hormone stimulation, feeding of abnormal diets for growth purposes, and eventually long rides of intense discomfort until the ultimate end. The holding pens, the electric pause, the tail twisting, the abject terror and fright, and the accidental misses of the humane slaughter stunning device, these are all still very much a part of the most modern animal raising, shipping, and slaughtering. So, sorry to bring you down, but this is just something that's like really a concern to me because I care. I love animals, and I know all of you do too. But it's nobody wants animals to suffer, but it's easy to forget that when we eat them, that's what we're supporting. So we need to consciously awaken to this, especially, in a movement where we're, interested in conscious awakening and spiritual awakening. Not only is a vegetarian diet going to cleanse your mind and your body and help you connect spiritually, but also it's going to just foster compassion on the earth. The least we can do is just take a look at what really goes on and be a witness, because they deserve that. They deserve to be seen. And so let's all take a minute and just be a witness here. So be brave. Open up your vegetarian starter kit. It takes courage to be conscious. All right, meet your meat. That is such an important statement because in our civilization, we are so disconnected from our food. We just see it all wrapped up and perfectly packaged and have no concept of who it was or what it went through before we ate it. And so looking at these photos, if you don't want to connect to this kind of horror, instead of closing your eyes, just the conscious thing to do would be to decide that these animals are no longer going to be your food. So here's some extreme suffering. So does this look appetizing to you? Or does it make you want to cry? It makes me want to cry. I say if you can't stomach to look at pictures of animals suffering, you definitely should not be putting them in your stomach. So you can see these animals are tortured, genetically altered, mutilated, cramped in, fed weird growth diets filled with hormones, antibiotics, and pesticides, deprived of freedom, love, and sunshine, used up, and then finally slaughtered in a nightmarish hell factory. And it's not just meat factory farms that are cruel. Egg and dairy factory farms are just as bad, and when those animals are spent, they get shipped off to the same slaughterhouse. So these are just a few photos, and if you're still on the fence, I urge you to please go to PETA.org and just watch the videos there, and I guarantee you when you do, you'll have a change of heart and probably a change of appetite as well. Every vegetarian saves 100 animals from being born into a miserable, tortured existence. So be a witness is the least that we can do. I used to eat animals like this all the time, and I just made a conscious choice to change, and so hopefully I'm asking you to do the same. So why not eat fish? Here's a health reason not to eat fish. With all the mercury pollution in the ocean, eating fish is just poisoning yourself. The environmental and compassionate reasons for that are humans have pretty much vacuumed out the ocean. 90% of the large fish in the ocean are gone. That's enormous. That's crazy. So enormous fishing nets, mile wide, kill way more creatures than just the intended fish. And we need to let the ocean repopulate, and we need to acknowledge that fish can feel pain too. So the easiest action a person can take to reduce animal suffering is just to simply stop eating them. So, good job. I'm proud of you for taking a look at that. So on a lighter note, let's talk about health. It's pretty much a known fact that vegetarian and vegans live longer and healthier lives. Here's a quote here. Health benefits of vegetarian diets are impressive. Dr. T. Colin Campbell, nutritional researcher at Cornell University, says the vast majority of all cancers, cardiovascular disease, and all forms of degenerative illness can be prevented simply by adopting a plant-based diet. So that's a good reason, huh? To prevent disease. Listen to the doc. Okay, but is vegetarian diet natural for humans? Are we naturally carnivores or herbivores? Any guess on that? Herbivores. Let's take a look at anatomy. Along with the sharp claws, all carnivores are given powerful jaws and long fangs, elongated canine teeth for spearing and tearing flesh. Okay, so if you were naked out in the woods with no tools other than your own body, do you think you could take down a deer or even a cow? Can you like kill it with your bare hands and like tear apart its flesh with your flat teeth? Not likely. Just because we're clever enough to invent tools does not mean that we can outsmart Mother Nature. I mean, if we're so smart, how come we've destroyed everything? Come on, that doesn't make sense. What humans are evolved for is to pick fruit and vegetables, peel them with our fingernails, and then thoroughly chew them with our molars. I mean, that makes a lot more sense. How about intestines? The natural carnivores, such meat-eating animals as the wolf, lion, hyena, and cat, all possess a digestive tract 3 times the length of the animal's body. The intestinal canal is relatively simple and not convoluted, thus capable of eliminating rapidly decaying substances such as meat in a very short time. On the other hand, the intestinal canal of humans and other naturally vegetarian animals, such as the ape, camel, cow, and horse, is 10 to 12 times the length of the body, forming a winding, intricate route poorly adapted for the digestion of elimination of flesh foods. And so I have a scientific diagram of this. Right here, see? See, you know, kind of a simple intestines, 3 times the length of the body, and then here's the human here, and it's around 12 times the length of the body convoluted. So what this means is when you eat meat, it's going to rot in your gut. So I'm going to like illustrate that here. That's what it looks like. So, unlike animal products, fiber is abundant in plant food. And so eat lots of raw fruit and vegetables. That'll help you on your cleansing, and that'll help clear out a lifetime's worth of eating like crap. Yeah, there's lots of other examples in anatomy too, but humans are really not designed to eat meat. So this brings us to the question that everyone asks. Without eating meat, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? Oh my God. Okay. Here's something that they don't teach you in the society. There's protein in almost everything in the vegetable kingdom. How do you think herbivores like cows, gorillas, and horses build all of their muscle mass? From eating plant protein, the grass, whatever, you know? Protein is made up of amino acids, which are abundant in plant food. So, and the idea of needing a complete protein to get all your protein, that's a myth because your body can combine the amino acids to make the complete protein. So, just to name a few, here are some examples of plant foods that contain protein. Asparagus, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, celery, cucumber, mushrooms, beans, lentils, soy, brown rice, nuts, wheat, all seeds, especially quinoa, hemp seeds, and chia seeds, all greens, especially dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, tomatoes, yams, and even many fruit like strawberries. Protein is everywhere. So if you don't believe me, just go online and search out some vegan bodybuilders because you will see there's no lack of protein in their diet. They are ripped. So yeah, throw the food pyramid out the window, it's bunk. And here's the fact, no one in America has ever died from lack of protein. There is more of a problem with people getting too much protein. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine states that the average American takes in twice the amount of protein he or she needs. Excess protein has been linked with osteoporosis, kidney disease, calcium stones in the urinary tract, and some cancers. And so why is that? That's because animal products are acid forming. And so if you want to alkalize, eat vegetables so you can get your protein, and they have minerals that will alkalize your body as well. So I'm not a dietitian, so I'm not going to give you a specific diet to follow, but here's some tips from PETA. Eat a whole foods diet with plenty of beans, nuts, whole grains, and fruits and vegetables. Avoid unhealthy foods like trans fats. Although a diet consisting of Coke and French fries is technically vegan, you're not going to get healthy if you eat nothing but junk food. Eat. Supplement vitamin B12. This is important. B12, and it comes from bacteria. And since humans are germaphobes, we destroy all the bacteria sources for B12. And so you want to supplement that. So PETA says a healthy, balanced diet rich in beans, nuts, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, along with a bit of vitamin B12 and D, will give you everything your body needs. So where else do you get vitamin D? Sunshine. All right. And for those who eat fish for a source of omega-3 fatty acids, I want you to know there's vegetable sources for that as well. There's flaxseed, flax oil, hemp seed, hemp oil, chia seeds, walnuts, and there's different amounts of all the omega fatty acids and plenty of vegetable fatty foods. Raw plant fats are really good for you, like olive oil, coconuts, nuts, coconut oil. It's important not to cook your oils, though, because the fats are unstable and they can turn into trans fats and go rancid in your body. You know, don't fry with oil because you'll just destroy the makeup of the oil. But don't be fooled by the term vegetable oil because it's really just processed soy oil, and that is not good for you. So here's my advice. So what I'm into is to get the life force energy of raw plant food, and the best way to do that is with salads. So learn to love salads. I used to hate them, but I just kept eating them and your taste buds change. It's true. So here's how to make a good raw salad. Use plenty of dark leafy greens, organic if possible, like spinach, lettuce, kale, all that good stuff. And let's see, add in a rainbow variety colored of vegetables. And I like to chop them and shred them up pretty fine. And be adventurous, throw in some spices, like you can't go wrong with cilantro, basil, throw in some cayenne pepper. Let's see, add in some raw nuts and seeds. I like chopped walnuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, you know, like the chia pet. Those are so good for you. They are.
The sprout there.
Yeah, sure, whatever, they'll sprout in your gut. And then add in some raisins and berries and things like that to make it sweet. Okay, and then here's my favorite dressing. It's so easy. You just squeeze a lime over your salad and then olive oil, salt, toss it up, and then voila, make it just, you know, there's a million varieties, different flavors, different spices that you could throw in to make your salads different. You know, I'll make like a big salad and I'll eat it for a week and then I'll try a different flavor. And so I usually only make food like once or twice a week and I'll just make a giant batch of it, but that's just me. All right, don't forget the desserts. I know some of you are thinking about quitting sugar. You know, processed sugar is not good for you. That's true. But if you have a sweet tooth, you should know there's a plethora of delicious vegan desserts available on the market. But if you really want to be decadent, try making a dessert with raw plants, like raw fruit and nuts. Did you know that cacao, which is raw chocolate, is a superfood that will give you super nutrition? It is one of the most nutritious foods on the planet. So just Google raw recipes, raw desserts, and you'll find like a million of them online. And so there's tons of free information out there. Just give it a try. And the thing about it is you can actually lose weight eating raw desserts. Like, you will not, I mean, I'm living proof. Like, I've eaten so many, I would be 100 pounds overweight if that was true. But what you can do is, you know, just eat as many as you want any time of day, and you'll know when you've had enough because you'll start craving salads. But don't try that approach with cooked desserts. I don't think it'll have the same effect on your body. But raw vegan desserts, just go nuts on them. All right. So in review, going vegetarian is the first step towards better environmental sustainability, compassion for animals, and health. And there's another excellent reason to go vegetarian, and that is spirituality. So no matter what your spiritual path is, vegetarianism has a place in it. Most spiritual gurus throughout history have chosen some form of meat-restricted diet, even including Mormons here in Utah with the Word of Wisdom. Time to reread the Word of Wisdom for Mormons out there. It says to eat meat sparingly only in times of famine. Family. All right, here's something for Christians. Genesis 1:29. Behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for food. So my own spiritual connection to God is through Mother Earth. And what better way for me to connect to her than by eating raw plant food? Because you are what you eat, so you become that. And so think about raw plants. They're grounded in Mother Earth. They're rooted. And they're collecting the sun, solar energy on their leaves. And they're filled with pure, life-giving water and just, contain all of the intelligence of creation. And so for me, it's a spiritual act. And so if you're ever interested in kind of like a spiritual roller coaster ride, I would highly recommend a raw food diet. And just Google that too. There's tons of free information on it. Just ask Jesus too. This is interesting. Here's an excerpt from the Essene Gospels, which are newly recovered ancient scriptures like the Dead Sea Scrolls. So Jesus teaches raw foods. But I say unto you, kill neither men nor beast, nor yet the food which goes into your mouth. For if you eat living food, the same will quicken you. But if you kill your food, the dead food will kill you also. For life comes only from life, and death comes always death. For everything which kills your food kills your bodies also.
Did Jesus say that?
Yep.
Yep. When?
In the Essene Gospels. He told me in my head. No, it's in the Essene Gospels. It's like ancient scriptures that were uncovered. Yeah. So here's another thought too. I believe that vegetarian diets will foster peace on earth. Aside from the, lessening the need for countries to wage war over resources, that kind of thing, vegetarians are less aggressive, and you can see that in nature through animals. There happens to be a rogue, violent species on this planet that is completely out of control. It's humans. We need to, settle down. And I've noticed it in myself. When I went vegetarian, I started becoming more peaceful, and I've noticed it around other people too. And so here's my theory. My theory is that prehistoric humans became more aggressive when they started eating meat, and that humans today can reverse that with eating plants. And so I think vegetarianism can foster that. And I think that if the whole world does it, think of all of the resources that we could save, and think of, just if we're focused on compassion instead of getting as much as we can grab and whatever, that kind of thing. I think it will foster a conscious awakening. And so that's why I'm really passionate about vegetarianism. It's really the core of my form of activism because, like I've said, it pretty much can make more of a difference than any other thing that you do. Recycling, you do all that. It's all good. But if you really want to make an impact, change your diet and stop eating meat. So I'm going to give up the throne now. Cut that one.